Hi everyone. I'm gonna get my iPad hooked in the stand here. Hopefully not disconnecting anybody. So sorry for the noise and the jiggling around there. Okay. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and hello Monday, here we are. Starting a week off with some inspiration and creativity again, I hope. I hope it inspires you to make some cards and go out and craft a little bit. I wanted to share with you first our upcoming spring card making workshop scheduled for March 27th. And that offer uses the all-inclusive kit of Hello Dear Friend. And I got my kit the other day, so I wanted to share with you the products that come in the kit. So, if you are new to Boho Stamper, welcome. If you've been with me before, you know that I have a couple of offers going on, and one of them is this workshop. Another one is our monthly mystery card challenge, which is out on Boho Stamper Facebook page in the albums. There's a folder in there for each month. And the instructions are in that folder, so if you need the paper dimensions or anything, you should be able to find them in there. So I'm hoping that, oh good, I was going to say I didn't hear anything. I was a little concerned about volume there. Okay, so this was the kit then, and these are the beautiful cards. There's some note cards in here. There are some full-size cards. And in your kit, you're going to get enough supplies to make 12 cards. There are envelopes for each of the different sizes. Some really pretty vellum gold embossed panels that we'll use. I'm going to try to get these cards all put together because I do want to see what's going to be left over, because if you sign up for this workshop through Boho Stamper, you're going to get 3 additional projects. And if this is anything like Paper Pumpkin, and I'm sure it is, they always give you extra pieces. So I want to see what we're going to have left over that we might be able to use in our extra projects. And what else was in there? Oh, the envelopes, labels that we'll use to stamp our greetings on. You're going to get some glue dots, Stampin' Dimensionals, pretty copper colored thread, Misty Moonlight stamp spot. You get an acrylic block, and you get the stamps. So even after you've used all of your consumables in here, you have your acrylic block, you'll have leftover pieces, and you can use your stamp set again. That's why we're going to have the 3 additional projects, so that we can use these and do some little extra things with them. So if you're interested in this set, or in this workshop, and I know I had the workshop is $42. This isn't anything extra. I'm not up pricing. Well, I guess I am up pricing it by 70-some cents here. But the kit itself is $32. Tax and shipping are added on there. And then I will send you out, in addition to this, all of the items you need for your 3 projects. So, anyone who's interested can always get me at Diane at Boho Stamper. I got fuzzies all over here. Okay, so what'd you think of those beautiful spring cards that I had on my thumbnail there for today? Pretty colors. Spring is coming. And with spring coming is coming also the new 2021 to 2022 annual catalog from Stampin' Up. So if you have already shopped with me in the past, your name and address are already on my list. If you have not shopped with Boho Stamper and you plan to do so, again, I'll have your name and address for you to get catalogs. If you don't have a demonstrator but you want a catalog, just reach out to me and I'll see if I can't take care of you. I'd love to have you. All right, so let's work on some of these cards. And this set is one of those ones, let me get some of this stuff out of the way so that we can stamp away and make a mess. Oh, yes, I almost forgot. If you are shopping with Boho Stamper, remember to add in the shopping code. There is a little line that comes up there when you're ordering and asks if you have a host code or a hostess code. I don't really know what the wording is on there, but that code is on my website. So today's tiles is a set that you might have skipped over in the catalog, not even thinking that it was anything fun. I know it caught my attention. I'm trying to see where my catalog's at, and I was going to show you what page it was on. It caught my attention, but I didn't order it at first, and then I kept going back to it, and finally I said, you know what, this is something I think I probably will use more than once, which is what I'm trying to do now, order stamp sets that I'm going to use more and more. And I liked the sentiments in here. Everything will be okay. I just want to say hello. Thanks for being there when I needed you most. Wishing you peace and happiness. I'm blessed to have you in my life. And of course, namaste. Which, again, this kind of goes with my Boho Stamper theme. These are the field tile dies. And I think I might have used one of them. I cut some of them out so that we could see what they did, what they look like when they're cut out. And I don't know that I used this one on my card. Maybe I did. This would be nice to add to the card and then wrap a ribbon around it, I think. I didn't think of that until after. I also did another card after I posted my pictures. Yesterday I played around with adding a foil background, and then I silver embossed the inlaid part of the tile. I don't know if that, I think it is showing up pretty shiny. So today we'll work with the basics. Oh, come here. Stick those back in there. Sometimes if I have a stamp set that has some, or a die set that has some odd shaped dies, and I'm not quite sure what's going to cut out and what's not going to cut out, I'll just get a piece of cardstock and cut them so that I know when I go to make a card later I can look, I just keep them in there with my dies and I'll be able to see what those are going to do for me. Okay, set that aside. And I did keep, these are all my little leftover dies, or my tiles, because I have an idea for that today too. One tool that we haven't used and will kind of be handy for us with this set, at least for the initial stamp part of it, is a Stamparatus. A Stamparatus is a positioning tool, Now I think for the inlay part of it so much, I don't know that the Stamparatus was as important to me, but the main panel of the tiles, it really did help me when I was stamping down a sheet of my cardstock. And so I have these little guides. I actually got them at a craft show, or not a craft show, but like a vendor show one time when I went, when I was first getting into Stampin' Up. Well, when I was first, yeah, I guess it was Stampin' Up. I was going to say when I first started making cards, but that's not true. I had already been making cards. I think I lost a magnet. I thought I put it on the back of that. God only knows what that's sticking to. So I have just a piece of basic white cardstock here. And it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to lay that in my Stamparatus. And look at these great colors. Are these not pretty spring colors? This is what I was using on my card. Specific Point, Magenta Madness, Mango Melody, Calypso Coral. Sorry about that. That's one of the old stamp pads. Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and So Saffron. And then the other one that I did later with the embossing, I used Merry Merlot because I wanted a dark color to make the silver stand out. But I think for today, it's important to show you how to do the tile stamping. So since pink and orange seem to be one of my favorite combos, again, I don't know why, but they are. And one of these, this one, I kind of really wanted to vamp it up a little bit. That's not quite, oh, that's yellow and orange. Well, I'm going to do it in pink and orange, though. I like that color combo better. See where I put the ribbon? That would have been nice to have that die cut panel under it. I also used that that glimmer paper, rainbow glimmer paper that we had taken out for the St. Patrick's Day cards. I had a piece of this laying there, and I thought, oh, that'd be pretty to put one of the dies over top of. So I ended up cutting a couple more pieces there. And so let's do pink and orange with Magenta Madness. And I think I'm going to have to go with, I guess it is the Calypso Coral. Let's try a little stamp here and see what that color looks like on a piece of scrap first. See what the pink looks like beside that. It almost looks a little too... Try the Mango Melody. That may be my... I think I want to do the Mango Melody and the Magenta. All right. Yay. Put the coral back. And I'm going to do a full sheet with the same inks. You can do these any way you want to. I did some before with the pink and an orange inlay, and then I did the reverse with orange and a pink inlay. Okay. So you can, well, that's probably where my magnet is on that little tin. So I think I'm going to do the orange as my tile base. And I've already lined this Stamp Up on my basic white cardstock, and then picked it up on my Stamparatus. I'm hoping that magnet's not in the way. And then we just press this onto our cardstock. And I know that my my little paper guides that I have in here are kind of gonna be in, oh, not too bad, not too bad. I was afraid that it was gonna be in the way and I wouldn't get my ink down in the bottom, but that's okay, it looks good. So now I'm just gonna lift my Stamparatus lid, and I'm, oh, you stay there, and I'm gonna move it down 2 spaces, and I'm going to stamp again. And this tool is handy if you're going to do a full panel on your card like this, and you want your design or your pattern to just continue down your page. Now, for this part, it's not so bad because I'm planning on cutting my tiles apart, because I do have another idea today, like I said. I have those leftover tiles in the various colors, and I know Slimline cards are pretty popular right now, so I thought maybe I would use some of my leftover tiles. See, I missed a little bit down there. My leftover tiles, and maybe do a Slimline card. I haven't done any of them. I got envelopes in anticipation of doing them, and then I didn't. Okay, and ooh, I should have closed that. That's pink. We could have stamped in the wrong color. And then I'm going to lift my tray and slide it down again. Now this one is going to be in my way, so let's just when you get a Stamparatus, you get 2 of these long magnets, and they are some tough magnets. I broke one because if you get them too close together, they snap tight, and if your finger's in there, it hurts really bad. Take my word for that. Oh, okay. My sticky roll is in the way there over my Stampin' Seal. But I did get replacement magnets. I don't know where the other one stuck to. I had so many things out this morning. I was trying to grab that stuff for the spring card kit. Okay, and this is just paper underneath. There's grid paper that comes in your Stamparatus, so you can stamp off onto the paper and it's not going to hurt anything. And we end up with a full panel of little tiles. Now, I've seen some demonstrators say they can't do this without the Stamparatus. You can. This is just real handy for lining it up, like I said, if you're going to do a full panel on your card. I actually found that doing the inlay part that we're going to do next, for me, it was actually easier to do it with an acrylic block because I could line it up better. So let me put my back in there, and this is my second one that I was using to go back and then stamp inside of it, but we are going to just do that inlay part on a block. Okay, so this is our great Stamparatus, and it's pretty well loved. I use it a lot, especially when I'm doing a lot of cards at one time. So if I'm doing Christmas cards or holiday cards, I just line my stamp up on here, and then I can have my panels and continuously just keep inking up and stamping, inking up and stamping, and saves me a little bit of time. They all get lined up in the same place and nice and consistent. So is that one gonna fit? I think it does. I don't know if I want to use this one or the really big block. I think for me this one's easier to see. So we have then our little tiles, and the inlay part matches up. You have to kind of watch, because if you do them upside down, your circle inlay part would be inside of that flower stamp. I'm going to move this down a little bit so it's flatter and we get an even stamp. Try to keep everything up here so you can see it. I have another stamp set that I took out. That's what keeps getting in the way here. It's called All Adorned. I thought this might look pretty as a background, to do like a tone-on-tone background for these tiles. So I might give that a try here while we're playing with these. Okay, we'll get out the Magenta Madness now. Now that I twisted this around, I have to make sure that I'm doing this in the right direction. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to tap my stamp in my ink pad. And line it up. And this is why for me it was easier to use, and excuse my head if I get in here, I gotta see what I'm doing to line this up, to get all my little dots and flowers. And I'll just give it a second for the ink to soak into my paper. And it's a little off in some spots. Darn it. But that's okay, because I'm going to cut them apart and I just won't use those two. I don't need them all for the card that we're going to do. And again, if I can line this up. I guess not without getting my head down there, huh? Press that a little better in the middle. When I went to cut these tiles apart, I did use my paper trimmer, and I cut the kind of the columns and the rows. And then as I was putting them on my cards, some of them, ooh, I don't want to get, where's my scrap paper at? I don't really want to get ink on my pad if I can help it. What was I saying? Oh, I was putting them on my cards. I didn't really want the white border around all of them, and I found it really easy just to use my scissors. And trim them. Pink off of there so it doesn't stain it up too bad. My first one is stained really bad, which is okay by me. It shows that they are loved and used. I'd rather have that than open up a pack and see that I never have used that stamp set. Alright, so let me get my trimmer here. And I just lined the white space between the tiles up in the valley of my paper trimmer. And then this is where it just was easier for me to use scissors. So I have a bunch of my paper out here because I didn't know for sure what color I wanted to use today. I even had a couple pieces of gold here ready in case we went with that. I did find that when I'm doing my card, whichever color is the inlay piece looked the best on that same color as a panel, background panel. So for example, if I were to put the tiles that we just stamped on an orange background that doesn't seem to stand out quite as much, it looks much more vibrant on the pink. So I need a pink panel to put behind these. Oh, and if I'm going to do them as a, I'm going to do this one as a little slimline. And I have a notebook that I keep my dimensions and stuff when I'm working on cards. And I had figured a slimline base card for me to match my envelopes will be 7.5 by 9 inches. So that when I fold it, it's 3 3/4 by 9 inches. And then I need a panel of 3.5 by 8 3/4. So that was those, but I want it to be on pink. This is my first slimline card. Oh, panel 3.5 by 8 3/4. Ooh, I gotta open up the arm of my trimmer. 8 3/4. 3.5. And that's my panel that will go on my card. I guess I can cut out my card base. This orange that I'm using, you can use whatever colors you have. This is a retired Peekaboo Peach, and I'm using it because when it was on clearance, I bought a bunch of it, and so now I have a lot. Otherwise, I probably would have used a terracotta tile, or see, our old Grapefruit Grove would have been pretty too. Okay, so my base is 7.5 by 9 inches, 7.5, and I score it at 3 3/4, 3 3/4. Oh my goodness, that worked. I know I had worked on this a while ago trying to get a slimline measurement set up, and I never did make a card. I think I just measured my envelopes and folded paper to see what would work in there. Oh, I was going to do an Easter card with them, that's why. Okay. So, what I thought we might do on this card, let me put my little notebook away there. I kind of wanted to do a tone-on-tone background, and then before I cut those up, I'm going to lay some of these out. Maybe just do a pattern. I might use some of these pink ones from before. Do a pattern of tiles across my panel, and see, you're witnessing how my cards actually get thought up. Designing it in during a live. Maybe not a good idea. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. And then I can, well, if I do that, I may want to put these more to the side so that my That's not going to fit on a slimline that way. And I'm just laying pieces out right now to decide my pattern that I'm going to use. Also, well, no, I have my pink and orange. I was going to say you could also do this on white and use all your leftover pieces. And just make a bunch of different bright spring colors. I don't know about this centerpiece, but let's stamp the panel, and we'll stamp that with. I did do, using today's tiles, I did do the background of this card. I used the stamp that is the inlay piece, and just, can you see the background on there? I just used my orange ink on the orange background. I think this one though, where'd that other here? That all adorn stamp set. I want to try that background on here. We'll move our card base out of the way so I don't get ink all over it. I like that one. And that one. Shall I use them both or just one? I don't know. I guess I better put my scrap back under there because I'm going to stamp off the edge of the paper. So using my Magenta Madness, this would be good to do in a Stamparatus, but I'm going to do random stamping, so it'll be okay. If you were going to do this in a pattern, Stamparatus would be really handy. But I'm going to use both of these designs and randomly stamp on it. I'm going to show you another thing on this today's tile stamp set. Oh, it's pretty. I like it. So the old stamp sets used to, well, I guess it did. What is it they're changing now? When you get your stamp sets and they come on this acrylic piece, on the photopolymer stamps, you have the images printed on your acrylic sheet. So if you're not sure if something's going to fit and you don't really want to touch your stamp to your paper, you can use your acrylic panel and kind of see where you might want this to fit in, or if it's going to fit into a spot. So if I wanted to try to fit my greeting right in the middle there, I know lots of love would fit because your stamps are the same size as this acrylic panel here. I can put them back. It also comes in handy to make sure that you have all of your stamps put back in your case before you close it up. And see if you have any little leftover images on your acrylic sheet. You're missing a stamp. Now that I took them all off to show you that, put them back. Okay. Then, let's see. I think I do want to put a panel on here with my greeting, and I'm going to use, I think this is probably too yellow, that's Bumblebee. I just happen to have that sitting there. I know that's going to be on here. Do I want to put a panel on there? I am going to use some tiles from today and some tiles from my past week of playing with this. And this is where the scissors are coming in handy because, excuse me, I really don't want to have a huge white border around my tiles. And so I can just trim it down. I also have, I was going to share with you the prize that I will be sending out to the March Mystery Card Challenge winner, whenever we draw names, is going to get a set of 3x3 note cards. This is from the Best Dressed suite, and there are some little note cards and matching envelopes in here. I don't want to open it up and get anything dirty because it's a full pack. And then a light and dark Rococo Rose Stampin' Blend. So if you haven't used Stampin' Blends and you've wanted to give them a try, these are alcohol-based markers. That'll be this month's prize. And last month, Rose, who actually was the only one who shared her card. So I appreciate that. She sent me her card photo and we got it in the album, so there really wasn't a whole lot of names to pick from. So if you're doing the challenge and you want to be entered for the drawing, please send me your card photo. And if you enjoy watching my videos and are inclined, please send a little like and share, or if you're on the replay on YouTube, maybe a like and subscribe. That'll help my my site come up when people are looking for stamping videos, and we can get more viewers to participate and send in photos of their cards. All in fun. Remember, you're making your cards the way you want them to be, as long as you're sending them out and making people smile. Let's see, I think I need a couple more pink ones here, don't I, from the other day. That one's pretty too. They are pretty. I like the designs in them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, we have to have an odd number. So, I think I already have that one. I don't have that one. I was a little freaked out this morning when I went to start today's live. My go live button on Facebook must be somewhere new now. So it wasn't on the same spot that I usually start my videos with. And I kept getting these reminders. Your viewers have been notified your live is going to start in 3 minutes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to run around and find my other laptop now in case I have to resort to my old way of recording here. But I don't know how. Somehow it just ended up working. Thank goodness. All right. I lost my little greetings. I wasn't going to use namaste on this one. I was going to do something different. It's only going to work if I can find the stamp set, though. There they are. Come out. Come out, come out. How about everything will be okay? Or is this too bright and cheery for that? Maybe they need bright and cheery. It's kind of a big card, so this is a nice size for a slimline. And I think we're going to stick with, we can either put a white greeting on here with the magenta ink, or we could do an orange. Let's stamp them both and see which one looks best. See which color we like. So we've been working to get back in having workshops in person, and I think the area that we're going to use for our stamp studio is almost ready to start getting set up. We had a building that my husband bought and was going to help me fix up the one side to use for our workshops right around when COVID decided that we wouldn't. So he had to go through the whole purchasing and everything, and there was machinery in there that had to be removed, and COVID kind of slowed that down too. Well, the machinery's out, and I think the sale of the building is finalized. So once we get that cleaned up and get some tables in there, and oh, it might be a little while, I forgot what they do have to change some lighting. The business that they had in there before used some special lighting, and it was a very dim yellow lighting to do lithograph and stuff. I don't think it's very good for us who are trying to see what we're stamping. Okay, do we like the white Or do we like the orange? I know. I think this does just fit on here because I did one other card with that. I did do it, and I did it in pink too. I did it in the Magenta Madness, so I know it fits. Let's get our little boss. Yeah, so too with the, well anyways, getting back to I do get sidetracked real quick here. Our studio and doing live workshops again. As soon as we have that building set up and ready to go, it's actually big enough where we can do some workshops with maybe 8 people. There will be, of course, mask restrictions and stuff, but I think if we keep our groups small, there's enough room to keep everybody separated, and we'll be okay. So I'm starting to get excited about getting that together. This is our mini emboss and die cutting machine. And I'm just going to use my little piercing, or affectionately known as our pokey tool. Poke out those little dots that didn't come out. And actually that mat that I stamp on, that's a piercing mat as well, but I like to have a nice padded cushion under my cardstock when I'm stamping, and if I use my my big Stampin' Up grid paper, those lines kind of make the camera go a little wonky. So now I just add some extra dies here. I better put that one back so I don't lose it. This is out of our same set. I wonder if that will work in there. And will you fit on there? It will, it will. So do I have an extra piece of orange? I have lots of little pieces. Let me cut a piece of that. We're going to make a background for our greeting. How's that? Let me just cut a small piece of this to go in our machine. We'll just layer it up since I don't know what color. I can't make in my mind what color I want. We'll layer it and use both of them. Oops, come on. You could do this up. I'm doing this backwards, so. Got all my little paper bits everywhere here now. Back there. Where I put my little pokey tool. Get the little bits out. And with our new catalog coming out, we'll have retiring stamp sets and products. I think that's around the 24th of that March? I'll have to get the date for that. I will post the list of retiring products as soon as that's released to us. And as I said, that's how I got all this Peekaboo Peach paper, because it was so pretty, and we were going to do some, we were going to do some Halloween workshops, and I thought that would be great for us to use to do the pumpkins and stuff with, but once again, that was interrupted. Alrighty, so here's our Slimline card. And my thoughts are coming together here a little bit. Let's get some Stampin' Seal here on the back and get our panel adhered to the card base. This Magenta Madness really did not catch my eye at first. And I'll tell you, for some reason, I think it was Valentine's when I started putting in with the orange. That was when I really started using my paper and ink. This one's a little bit smaller, so I can either put this on here at a diagonal, and I think I will put that diagonally, and we can layer our message on the front of it. I like the way the curve of that fits right inside the panel. Let me see, I want some measurements lines here so I can get a center. Right. The way these corners bend, I also think that there might be something, 2, 3, 4, 5, something that we can do on our cards with that. I don't know what yet. I think there should be, huh? Oh, my glue dots, my order finally came, so I have glue dots now. But I think these ones I'm going to use dimensionals on. Oh, we could put those on a diagonal too. Look at that. I like it. Okay, great. It works. I'm gonna add our sentiment on here flat, but I am going to use dimensionals on the tiles. Dimensionals. And I want to make sure I have them where I want them to go before I take the backing off. So I'll get them laid out here. Those all have dark ink, and this one has a light ink. I probably should use another dark. I don't really have to have everything matchy-matchy, but I think I want to keep my inks kind of so Let me find another dark one here. That's like that one. That one's pretty. Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot to share about our week. We didn't really have anything exciting going on. I'll be happy when we have some more bright sunny days. Today's a nice day, so open the window and let some fresh air in today. All right, I think this is what I'm gonna do. And I think if I would not have stamped a background on here, it would have looked, oh, those are the same. Let's put one on the other side. Though it would have looked a little bit bare, and I could have probably embossed my back to give it some dimension and a little bit of so it stood out a little bit. Trying to keep them lined up a little bit with the edge of the magenta panel. And there is the card, my very first Slimline that I've done. And also a card that you can easily do just on your, on the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base, because this would all very easily fit onto a regular size. And we did it in an hour. How about that? So this is, remember, today's tiles. And pick out some bright springtimey colors and play with your stamp sets, and then go send them to somebody and make them smile. I appreciate you again joining me today and being here and spending just some of your day with me. Again, remember to like and share the video if you would do that, and I hope to see you all again next week. I'm hoping to get another video and put it out there on YouTube sometime this week too. I want to try to start getting maybe 2 a week instead of just 1 a week. We'll see how well that goes. So you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again next Monday. I think we're going to start Easter cards. Have a great sunshiny day, everyone. Bye.